you. I was really just going to share a few examples of work we've been doing in Transformers, where we've been trying to bring arts and science and justice together to just to give you a taste of some of the methods, I guess, we're trying to use. So I'm going to share my screen, if that's okay, because my descriptions are not going to be good enough to just see them. The first, and hopefully you can see that, is we're using virtual exhibitions just as a test to see whether that is a way to help people articulate their perspectives on transformation. And so we've asked at the various meetings we've held, we've asked people to submit photographs of the case studies we've been visiting, of their perspectives of sustainability transformations in that place. And we have asked for a little description of what the picture means to them. So we asked them to take pictures and what the picture means to them. And then we've used that picture in the description to just thematically code and create exhibition rooms about that topic. And it's given a really interesting range of themes that we wouldn't normally get. And justice comes up as quite a strong theme through that. So people looking at things and reflecting what it means are picking up things like inclusion and exclusion. And this is one example of some markets we visited in Riga, which were beautiful and had a lot going on, but there was a feeling that they might exclude certain peoples from those places. And it came through very strongly visually. And so we've repeated this exercise, and we're just looking at it as a way of finding new insights and thematically coding. And as Rubal said, a really nice way to get people to engage with that. It's easier to walk around virtual exhibition than it is to read some strong text, and you'll get different perceptions of that. So we thought that was quite interesting. Is using zines, which are sort of handmade magazines. So we had a training school in the summer, and we gave that there was lots of input from trainers, but we gave 2 whole afternoons of the training school to let participants pause and reflect. This goes to Gintara's point about slowing down and the need to reflect. And so we got the participants to use this sort of creative process of producing a zine to reflect on what they'd heard and to make it tangible to them. And this idea about making it, finding their own values and finding their voice in this complex area. We were looking at epistemic injustice, so the injustice about how knowledge is used. And it's a very difficult concept in a very difficult area to research. And so giving participants time to just pause, do something creative, relate it back to their perspective, really helped the very rapid process of learning that Helena was describing to really sort of settle down and bed in, and for the participants to really engage more deeply with the material. And so it was really a really positive experience for us and for the participants. And so we're looking at trying to find the insights that came through those zines and putting them into more of a collected works, and trying to find a creative output to share with people. And so one example of this is this book by Julia Bentz, who helped us arrange the training school, where it was a very artistic, creative, designed, and I think you'll probably recognise a lot of these as architects, of taking the insights from the training school, but reflecting them in a more design-oriented document. And whether that's a different way to communicate some of the deep learning that the participants were doing and some of the learnings from Transformers, and look at these alternative ways of creating. So we're looking at arts as method, as ways of collecting and coding data, arts as reflection of sense making, and arts as communication. And then looking across the piece of those activities about whether that gives more opportunities to bring in knowledge that we don't normally hear about, different ways to integrate the knowledge, and different ways to communicate the knowledge, because those are all core themes of Transformers, about how we bring knowledge together and how we make opportunities for using that knowledge much easier. And so this is just a strand through Transformers about whether arts can help us do that. And it's been a really fascinating process about what methods do we use, how do we build people's confidence in using creative methods? Because when we were doing the zines particularly, there was a lot of, I'd say, fear from participants about doing something creative like that and not knowing if it was right. And watching that process of supporting people, of creating the environment, and I think it's partly skills, I think it's partly confidence when we're thinking about arts, how we created that environment in which people built their capacity to use arts to do this. So it's been a really fascinating experience of doing that. I'm interested in how Ribal had used visuals and creatives, and what he was saying about using that as to create artistic ideas, but also to enable critique and allow people to engage with things more, like communicating ideas. Oh, that's really fascinating. There's two sides. Art. There's multiple ways in which we can use art, and that's it can make things more easy, but it can also exclude people from methods. So really having to be mindful of it, and not just assuming that because we use arts, it's more engaging or more participatory or more just, but really being mindful of the broader challenges. So it's been a really interesting process, and we're carrying on forward of using the methods and reflecting and writing on them. So hopefully we'll have some work on that soon.